So there's your soul, there's your higher self, and there's you. What the hell is the difference? And how the hell does that all work? Here's how my higher self explained it to me. When you want to experience yourself in a new way, you imagine it. You picture what it's going to be like inside of your mind first. And then based on however it plays out, you determine if that's a direction that you want to move in. And the same goes for your soul. Your soul's greatest purpose is to experience itself in as many different ways as possible. And it does this by having as many different lifetimes as possible, because ultimately it wants to understand the nature of consciousness. And what better way of understanding that than having the experience of it itself? So when your soul decides that it wants to have an experience of itself, it imagines what that experience would be like. And then through the power of thought, creates it into reality. And this imagined version of itself moves through life, living out its reality without realizing that it's a projection of thought, because to it, it's real. Just like the version of you inside of your imagination doesn't realize that it's a byproduct of your imagination. Whatever's taking place inside of your imagination, to that part of you, to that version of you, it's real. And the same goes for your higher self. Your higher self is an imagined version of your soul self that's living out an experience at that level of consciousness. And so are you. You're both byproducts of your soul wanting to live out these different experiences in these different ways. So each soul is experiencing itself through all of these imagined perspectives. But the way energy works is that once it's imagined, it becomes real. So all of these projections of consciousness both exist and don't exist, are both separate and one, depending on how you see you, how you see them, and how you see all of it combined. You are both a projection of you, of source, of your higher self, of your soul self, and all of the imagined versions of you living out inside of your mind. Your soul self doesn't really have a vested interest in the choices that you make in any particular lifetime. All it cares about is observing the experience, witnessing the experience, experiencing the experience itself, regardless of what the experience is. Your higher self, on the other hand, wants to have a slightly more active role in your life because that's the experience that it wants to have. Your higher self is the version of your consciousness that represents you beyond this singular version of you. They remember all of your previous incarnations. They understand your deeper purpose inside of this lifetime and all others. They know of all of your soul gifts, and they represent the version of you beyond all of your perceived limitations of you. Your higher self represents the version of you that you can ascend into and unconditionally embody if you can allow yourself to believe that you are enough just as you are. They are the blueprint of what's possible for you, and they want to help you get there. They are always around you and inside of you and existing through you, but you have to be willing to call them forward if you want their help. They have the ability to guide you along your path towards what deeply calls to you, and they're here to remind you of what matters most, that you always believe in you and love you regardless. Because ultimately, that's what you want most. The best way to get in touch with your higher self is by simply taking the time to do so. I have a guided meditation called Meet Your Higher Self, where you can have an opportunity to come face to face with them. And every single time you do that meditation, the experience will be a little bit different, because what you will want from the experience and your energy inside of the experience will be different too. And if you're wanting a deeper connection to your higher self, if you're ready to do the work required to ascend into that version of your consciousness, join me inside of my free community home where I host monthly guided experiences and events and immersions to help you ascend into that incredible version of you that already exists inside of you, but that you haven't fully given yourself permission to embrace.